Guys, what's up? This is Blaze, the movie fan, and it's time for another commentary video. This time I will be commentating on the Mysterious Mr. Enter again. Now, before I dive in, I just would like to say that I don't hate the Mysterious Mr. Enter as a person anymore. Why would I? He hasn't done anything scummy lately. With that being said, I still think he is a terrible reviewer. Now, I will try to be fair on him. Keyword being try. It won't be an easy task because honestly, I think he's the worst reviewer on the internet. So anyway, today we'll be covering his review of Going Bananas from the show Rocket Monkeys. So, anyway, without further ado, let's dive in.
Well, I had to start tackling some of my bigger fuck-ups sooner or later. I know that there's a big fat elephant sitting in the corner of the room, but we will deal with that after the actual review. Hey, I'm already making an improvement over the original video, isn't that nice?
I will say that this review is an improvement over your older one, but it's still a shitty review.
But all joking aside, even if I never made my original Rocket Monkeys review, this would be a difficult one to talk about. Let's talk about what Rocket Monkeys is.
10, 9, 8. Rocket Monkeys!
They're rocket monkeys, monkeys in space. They try to be heroes, but they're easy to replace.
It's a Teletoon show about two idiots going on adventures through space with cheap flash animation, and both of the main characters are monkeys. Literally nothing about this premise is original. Besides the characters being monkeys in flash animation, immediately it's coming to my head is the Brothers Flub. I've said that Gross Out is probably my least favorite genre of animation, but a close second would be the two idiot bro dudes. Yes, I do like both Adventure Time and regular show. But other than that, what the hell is there? Fanboy and Chum Chum, as I mentioned, Brothers Flub, Breadwinners, Johnny Test, the worst episodes of SpongeBob, Sanjay and Craig, and can we please stop doing this? The premise is dead.
Let me ask, what the hell does most of what you just said have to do with the episode you're reviewing? The answer is nothing. All you're doing now is rambling on about shit totally irrelevant to the episode that you're reviewing. And that really makes this pointless rambling.
If I wanted to say that Rocket Monkeys is bad, I could say that it was a Teletoon cartoon made in the late 2000s. Actually, I couldn't do that. That would explain literally everything wrong with it, but I'd be wrong because Rocket Monkeys was made in 2013. Yeah, when I first watched this show, I thought that it was made in 2005, and I'm still like 90% sure that someone just spam edited Wikipedia. It looks and feels like it was made in 2005.
Were you really expecting a cartoon from another animation company to be at the same quality as cartoons from Walt Disney and Cartoon Network? If so, those are very unrealistic expectations. The animated industry in Canada isn't nearly as big as the animation industry in the United States. And the company that made Rocket Monkeys is much smaller than something like Walt Disney and Cartoon Network. Walt Disney and Cartoon Network are known all around the fucking world. And the fact that I have to look up the company that made Rocket Monkeys in order to know what that company is just goes to show that this particular company isn't really that popular.
As I've learned in the comments of my Wayside review, Canada has a law when it comes to most of their media. In Canada, a network has to air a certain amount of Canadian-produced cartoons, by law, which leads to things like Teletoon making cheap schlock just to hit that limit. And honestly, every facet of this stupidity kind of pisses me off. I honestly thought that being patriotic to the point where it hinders your own success was an American thing. But hey, not so above it all, huh, Canada? Seriously, this is one of the most stupid, vicious cycles that I've heard of. Canadian law says that they must place Canadian cartoons on the network. So the network makes cheap cartoons, which bombs the reputation of Canadian cartoons, which makes sure that nobody wants Canadian cartoons, which leads to less money, which is probably the exact opposite intention of the purpose of the law.
If you want to give us history lesson on how Canadian cartoons work, please make a separate video about it. Talking about it in this video is pointless. And would you believe me if I told that it doesn't start talking about the actual episode until the about 7-minute mark? That's far too fucking long of an introduction. You know what? Fuck the rest of this bullshit. I'm skipping to where he actually talks about the episode.
The episode we'll be doing is called Going Bananas. This should be interesting. And by interesting, I mean the most cliched piece of shit that I've ever had the misfortune of seeing. The episode starts with the two monkeys in Spanish BMO at a game show. Okay.
First question. What is yellow and shaped like a banana?
A banana.
Incorrect.
A banana?
Correct!
I don't get it. Alright, technically they are on this game show because of a long-winded plan by the villain that I don't want to begin to describe. What it all comes down to is that they have no reason to keep the intentions of this game show a secret. The only thing that it does is kill the joke. If you want to make this funny, then the monkey should come up with a completely different answer, or we the audience should know a little bit of what's going on. Otherwise, the joke is, haha, the monkey said the exact same thing as Spanish BMO, and one is rewarded and the other isn't.
You know what? That's really a good point. I agree. I didn't find the beginning of this episode to be that funny either. In fact, I thought it was fucking stupid how one gets awarded and one punished for having the exact same fucking answer. Now, there are a few other decent points in this video, but I will be skipping the rest of them to save time.
And then we have a still photo of a live-action audience in black and white. Rule of thumb: if a show uses actual photograph cutouts of live-action still images like this, the show can be assumed to be terrible. There may be exceptions, but more and more to me, it seems to be an admission that they're making a show as cheap as possible. I have never seen it look good. Not even once. No matter how good our technology gets, it seems you cannot make this aesthetically pleasing.
I can think of a show where it works. That show is South Park. Now, I don't agree with you that the concept itself is bad. This can be great if it's executed well. But the problem is, most of the times it isn't executed well. But that doesn't make the concept itself bad though. Like I said, it's fucking awesome in South Park.
If the first joke didn't do much for you, don't worry, they play it over and over again. It's the entirety of the first act of the episode. So even if it was funny the first time around, they have the good sense to drive it into the ground and begin digging their way to the core of the earth. Not only do they keep saying banana, but it's repeating BMO saying the same thing and losing, and cutting to stock photos of the audience, sometimes with Photoshop monkey heads. What? Why? I don't get it! It's like they tried to cram the entirety of Waffles into the first 3 minutes of this episode. But hey, the Teen Titans Go episode Waffles is such a comedic mastermind, who wouldn't?
And of course you had to bring up Teen Titans Go. And you wonder why people say that you talk about Teen Titans Go too much.
The monkeys win a trip to some kind of amusement park, and Spanish BMO gets distracted by another game show. But it all turns out to be a plan by the evil banana to send the monkeys into the middle of the desert to have them starve to death. You know what? I'm just gonna randomly end stories that I tell to people with that line. So Frodo dumps the ring into Mount Doom, but it all turns out to be a plan by the evil banana to send monkeys into the middle of the desert. And slowly the Titanic sunk beneath the waves. But it actually turned out to be a plan by the evil banana to send monkeys into the middle of the desert to starve to death. Neo swallowed the red pill, helping him exit the Matrix, but it all turned out to be a plan by the evil banana to send— What I'm saying is that this is kind of stupid.
Oh my god, this has got to be one of the worst jokes I've ever heard. Mr. Enter, you should have just said that it's stupid and left it at that. But making a pointless reference to Frodo really damages the quality of this review. I mean, seriously, this served no purpose and should have been cut out of the review completely.
So almost immediately, the rocket monkeys end up nearly dying in the desert. And then we have a nice touch of gross out. Gotta paint by all the numbers, you know, and they almost miss that one. They find a pile of dirt and they eat it, which stops them from dying of hunger and thirst. But it doesn't stop them from miraging.
You missed a very important plot detail for this episode. They aren't just sent into the desert and eat sand. The reason why they are eating sand is because they have a mirage of actual food. And I'm just gonna have to be blunt here. Leaving out such important details makes you very dishonest to your viewers.
You're eating sand!
You mean sandwiches?
Good one, Walt.
You made a sandwich
I
joke
didn't
with
even
sand
realize
in
it was a pun until you said it was funny.
Wow, this show is so bad that it actually stooped to the level of laughing at its own jokes. I'm sorry, laughing at its own puns. Now that is pretty fucking pathetic.
Look, it's fine if you don't find the joke funny, but you're taking it far too fucking seriously. And that forced anger doesn't help either.
Then the monkeys run into a cactus. Repeatedly. For no reason. Just because it's a cactus. Why? Okay, if they're so stupid that they're willing to repeatedly run into danger with no thought of pain, then why are they still alive?
Most cartoon characters don't die. It's common in a cartoon that a character survives through the most ridiculous situations. And this has been common in cartoons since the beginning. As someone who reviews cartoons on a regular basis, you should know this.
You want something to laugh at? Oh, I'll give you something to laugh at. Where's your funny now, monkeys? Have fun dying.
Where's their funny now? Where was their funny to begin with? So Banana Man hits the cactus, and a geyser sprouts up. Okay, this joke only works if the monkeys actually wanted a geyser. And considering that they were perfectly happy eating sand, I don't think that they do. Then we cut to Spanish BMO, where 4 robots are all sitting in a hot tub, and not short-circuiting.
Which do you prefer? Peanut butter and jelly or cinnamon toast?
What? What's the joke? I don't get it!
Good to see you learned nothing from when Doodletones commented it on you last year. Just because you personally don't find a joke funny doesn't mean that it's not there. The joke is plainly fucking obvious. I mean, if you don't find the joke funny, that's fine, you're entitled to your opinion. But saying that a joke is not there because you personally don't find it funny is just dumb.
And here's another problem. Both of the monkeys are the same fucking character. I mean, they have different voices, and in some episodes, not this one of them takes on a more serious vocal tone, but they fall victim to the same emotions and the same shenanigans. They're the same fucking characters with the same fucking designs with the same fucking personalities. Which is not how a comedy duo works. They need to be different to bounce off each other and contrast. When the characters are this similar, everything blends together and you just want to kill them both.
I can name a duo where both of the characters are almost fucking identical and it still works. More specifically, I can name you a trio like that. You know what a trio is? Who would Joe and Louie from the 1980s DuckTales? These 3 characters are almost fucking identical, but they're still very fucking awesome. Also, you wanna kill a character simply because you don't like him? That's pretty pathetic. Now, to be fair, the mysterious Mr. Enter could be exaggerating with this point. But I don't think his anger is acting. I think he is legitimately angry. And if I'm right, that's really sad.
Then a cactus gets pissed at the Banana Man because I don't give a shit. Then the cactus steals the banana's jetpack, leaving him stranded in the desert with 2 monkeys. You know what? That's even better than the last one. Darth Vader turned to Luke Skywalker, and then a cactus stole his jetpack, leaving him stranded in the desert with 2 monkeys. Honestly, that would probably be better than the prequels.
Wasn't it better now that you pointlessly referenced Frollo earlier on in the video? Now you're pointlessly bringing up Darth Vader? What purpose does this serve? Stop making pointless references. They add nothing to your review.
Then Gus tries to play and gets stabbed by a scorpion. Repeatedly. He was supposed to be the smart rocket monkey, right? Seriously, why the fuck are there 2 of these things?
He could be either talking about the scorpions or the rocket monkeys. So I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now it can't be scorpions because there is only fucking 1. As for the rocket monkeys, well, it makes no sense to ask why there are 2 rocket monkeys since you already know the answer. So I'm confused. What the hell are you talking about here? Such vague wording is very confusing. I think you should clarify exactly what you're talking about here.
Perhaps I'm going a little insane. That's because Rocket Monkeys decides to get its first original idea ever, stealing 2 SpongeBob episodes at once. The next scene is basically a fusion of pizza delivery and snowball effect. You know, without any of the comedy or charm.
You can't just say that something is a rip-off and leave it at that. You have to explain why. Otherwise, I'm not taking your word for it. Also, this is so far the only episode I've seen of Rocket Monkeys. And there is nothing about this episode that even remotely hints at it being a rip-off of SpongeBob. I mean, seriously, I legitimately don't see it. SpongeBob and Rocket Monkeys are 2 totally different fucking shows.
The banana starts telling jokes, and the monkeys fall in love with it, causing a friendship to blossom. It's perfect, like a classic SpongeBob ending where Squidward falls into the madness, you know, without any of the build-up care or effort.
Lord Pete is nothing like Squidward. Wow, talk about an apples to oranges comparison. For one thing, Peel is a fucking villain, while Squidward is a neighbor who is just annoyed by SpongeBob.
So now we get a montage of everyone doing nonsense in the desert. It goes on and on. I mean, things happen. At one point, Banana Man eats a bug, so there's that. And then he lets the rocket monkeys start eating him. It was the banana that had the evil plan from the beginning, right? Because it seems to me that it was the rocket monkeys that had the evil plan of tricking the banana into being friends so that they could eat him. And quite honestly, that's the universal failing of these kinds of shows. They don't seem to understand what makes a protagonist and what makes an antagonist. When they do care about the difference between them, and it's not just stupid versus evil, they give all of the traits that should go to the protagonist, like being likable and trying to overcome a goal and having obstacles, and giving the audience a reason to root for them. Yeah, they give all that to the antagonist. And they give everything that an antagonist should have to the protagonist.
You can't be serious right now. You're seriously willing to tell me that you sympathized more with the villain than the rocket monkeys themselves? Now, Lord Peel is a poorly written villain, I will give you that. But at no point in the entire episode did I feel like he was a good guy. In fact, by the beginning of the episode, he wanted the rocket monkeys to starve in the desert. How in any way, shape or form is that not considered evil? You either weren't paying attention to the episode or you are deliberately taking it out of context. And the latter honestly wouldn't surprise me. And that's all he had to say about the episode itself. And would you believe me if I told you that he only spent 6 fucking minutes talking about an episode in a 21-minute video? That's not even a quarter of the video. The rest of the video is basically some boring bullshit that only his fans would care about. But there are 2 points I want to address before I get into my overall thoughts.
Now that we're done talking about monkeys, we could start talking about elephants. The original video wasn't so much a review, but a rant on requests and how I don't like them. Looking back, I obviously didn't tackle this the best way that I could have. In fact, I tackled this in probably one of the worst ways that I possibly could have. Okay, not the absolute worst, but it was still pretty shitty. I suppose we could start with the why. Let's start with, something I remember clearly. Between the episodes of Animated Atrocities 92 and I think 99, I was really hitting burnout.
That doesn't excuse the shitty quality of that video.
I like watching, say, Dexter's Lab, but I don't have much to say about it, and thus there's not much I like talking about. I like it quite a bit, but I don't think I'd make a review out of it.
Well, maybe if you weren't so fucking negative all the time, you would have a lot of fun talking about Dexter's Laboratory. I mean, seriously, even in some of your admirable animation videos, you still feel the need to bitch. Also, I call bullshit on the fact that there isn't much to talk about regarding Dexter's Laboratory. Why do I say it's bullshit? Because I have reviewed a lot of episodes of Dexter's Laboratory. And I can bring something new to the table in each episode review that I make. If I can do it, you can too. Now it's time for my overall thoughts. Even though this isn't one of the worst reviews the Mysterious Mr. Enter has made, it's still a typical bad review by him. And to be honest, I don't think he has improved at all since 2015, back when he was a huge bandwagon. In fact, to some extent, I would say that he has gotten worse. That problem I have, that he rambled on about pointless shit, yeah, that is a problem that I've noticed in most of the reviews he made in 2017, not just with this particular one. Why does he feel the need to ramble on about shit that's irrelevant to the episode he is reviewing? All it does is make the video boring and a chore to sit through. As for what I think of the episode itself, well, I think it's alright. I wouldn't say it's a great episode, but I'm still willing to admit that I did laugh quite a lot while watching it. Now mind you, the fact that the Mysterious Mr. Enter doesn't find it funny is not one of the issues that I have with this review. If he doesn't find the episode funny, he is entitled to his opinion. Anyway, you have reached the end of the video. Thank you for watching, have a great day.